Hey guys, welcome. I'm Jenna and today we're doing the final installment of my Declutter series. So today we're doing shadows. We're doing single shadows first and then I'll do eyeshadow palettes after. Alright, so to kick things off, the first ones that I'm going to take out are these Nyx Shadows. They're all single shadows. These are new to my collection. I only just recently got them, so I'm definitely going to be keeping those so I can continue playing with them. Next are the Revlon Color Stay Cream Shadows. These are fantastic. I cannot rate these highly enough. This shade in particular is gorgeous. It is like the perfect sort of everyday, all over the lid brown shade, but I'm definitely going to be keeping those because it's a fantastic formula. Once it dries down, it doesn't crease at all. I've worn these all day and they haven't creased, haven't faded, haven't budged. Like basically it's bulletproof once it dries down. Next is one that I'm going to get rid of, and it's this e.l.f. Long Lasting Luminous eyeshadow, I think it is. This is like dried up in the pot. Pigment wise, there's still a little bit, but yeah, it's dried up. It doesn't come off on the even swatching very nicely, and it doesn't show up on the eye as nice. So I'm going to get rid of that one. This is another one that I am going to let go of. This is a loose pigment by Bella Pierre. I got this in an Unknown Beauty box, and I just don't use loose pigments. I think they're just a little bit too messy for myself, so I'm gonna have to let that one go. Beautiful pigment though, like I would recommend it if you love loose pigments, but yeah, just not for me. So the next product is this Chichi metallic eyeshadow. This one I'm going to get rid of because it doesn't look nice on my eyelids. It's a little bit too chunky, I guess. When I apply it to my lids, it just accentuates texture a lot, and the more I put on, the worse it gets. So I'm going to declutter this one. And I had the same issue with this Australis Metallics eyeshadow as well. Yeah, same deal. Both of them look really pretty, but they're just, I think it's more so my eyelids that they're not really suited for. I have kind of, I guess, droopy eyelids. The next one is the Maybelline 24-Hour Tattoo Potted Eyeshadow. This one is okay. I much prefer the Revlon Color Stay formula than this one, and this one has dried in the pot a little bit, so I'm going to declutter that one as well. Next, I've got this Emco Beauty Metallic Liquid Shadow. Swatch wise, it looks so beautiful, so pigmented and metallic, but when you go to blend it out, which you really can't see any of this on camera because I'm useless, but when you go to blend it out, it not only shears out around the edges too much, but where I initially laid it down, it's kind of left this halo of pigment, so it kind of lifts up where you initially put it down and leaves almost like a bald patch. So yeah, I was really disappointed with that one, and I will be decluttering. The next one is this Lily Loves Liquid Shadow. This is one that I bought, but I never really used. But I think I'll keep this one and continue trying it out, mainly because I just don't know how I feel about it, and it is so pretty. Like, look how beautiful that swatch is on my hand. I initially got this to be hopefully one of those like one shadow looks, and it looks subtle but still pretty. So I will just continue using this one and see how I feel. These two shadows here are from Kind Beauty. Like all of the products from Kind Beauty, I'm doing a video with them soon, so I'll be able to share my thoughts with you on those. So I'm going to be keeping those ones. They're alright shadows though, just as a FYI. So next we have these two Velvet Mousse eyeshadows from Starry. These are shadows that I got from Shop Miss A. Same as pretty much all of these shadows actually are from Shop Miss A, except for the three little ones in the plastic. These two I am going to declutter. They are so pretty to swatch, but they crease to high heavens and they don't actually dry down. They're a moussey texture, but that doesn't actually dry down to a powder type finish. It stays almost like a cream, and I just can't make them work. So they are going to have to go. And then next we have these 3 individual shadows from Spectrum Collections. So I got these in a mystery box. They're all single shadows from the Zodiac palette, which you can no longer get. Other than swatching, I haven't actually used these. I haven't put them on the lid. So I'm definitely going to keep them because I have an eyeshadow palette from Spectrum, which you will see once I get to my eyeshadow palettes, but I don't mind the formula. So yeah, I will keep all 3 of these and I will continue to use them. I'm trying to figure out a better way to store my single shadows, because what tends to happen is I don't use them because I kind of forget they're there. So I need to figure out a better system for them, but that's just a side note. So next we've got these 4 Aoa Wonder Shadows, and these I think I'm going to get rid of. They just aren't very pigmented, and while I do appreciate a softer shadow that can be used just to like give a nice sheen to the eye, or that can be used as a topper, these don't really give that kind of vibe. They're very chalky, very difficult to work with, and you just cannot build them up. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of all 4 of them. And then these Aoa Velour eyeshadows, I'm going to keep all of these. I just haven't really had a chance to use them. Again, same problem, I just forget that they're there. I have played with some of the shimmery ones maybe once or twice, and I honestly can't really remember how I felt about them. I do remember them being better than the Mousse ones from Starry though, but yeah, I just need to play with them more, so I'm going to keep all of them. Okay, moving on to eyeshadow palettes now, and this is the hardest category to declutter for me. I am an absolute eyeshadow hoarder, as I'm sure you will soon find out. I find it really difficult to get rid of them, even though a lot of them are very similar. But let's just gloss over that and start going through some eyeshadow palettes. So the first ones that I know I'm going to keep are these mini eyeshadow palettes by Juvia's Place. So we've got the chocolates, the violets, the mauves, the taupes, the nudes, and the berries. So I really haven't used these too much. That's why I'm going to keep all of them. Formula wise, I don't mind it. I've mainly used the taupes and the nudes more than anything. But yeah, I'm gonna keep all of these. Next we have the Pop Zombie palette by Ruby May. This one I'm going to declutter. I got this in an Unknown Beauty box, and while I did like the look I got out of it, it's just not really my thing. It's too bright, too colourful, but formula wise it's nice. So if this is your kind of palette, I would still recommend it, but yeah, just not for me, so I'm going to declutter that one. And next we have the Precious Petal palette by DB Cosmetics. Guys, DB Cosmetics does a really, really good eyeshadow formula. This is probably my favourite palette of theirs, and this was one that I used so much for such a long time. I am a little bit undecided as to whether I want to keep it here, but yeah, they do a fantastic formula, and I do ultimately end up keeping that palette. Next is the Athena palette by Lauritzy. This is one that I'm keeping. Another one I got in an Unknown Beauty box, and I mean the colors are just stunning and pan sizes are huge. So yeah, I am definitely going to keep this one. And here we have the Native palette by XO Beauty. I'm definitely keeping that one. And the Heaps of Sweets palette also by XO Beauty. So this is ShanXO's brand, if you weren't aware already. I got these as a Christmas gift not last year, the year before, so I'm definitely keeping those. And then the Good as Gold palette by Colourpop. I love this palette. It's so beautiful. All of the shades, like the tones of all of the shades, very yellow based, but so pretty. I love every look that I've created with this palette. And the Super Shock formula is amazing, so yeah, definitely keeping that one. And then we have the Sultry Nudes palette by DB Cosmetics. This one I am also going to keep because I haven't used it a whole lot. I've only used it a couple of times, but again, DB Cosmetics formula is awesome. One thing that I do wish they had in this palette was some deeper, like transition type shades, but other than that, it's a great palette. Next, we have the Morphe Jaclyn Hill collaboration. This is the Divine Neutrals palette. This one I love, I'm definitely keeping, and I do actually have a video testing this out, so I'll link that one above for you if you like. And then we have the Livia Game Changer palette. This is such a good palette. It is so good. Very colourful, which I don't typically use that often, but there's no way I'm getting rid of this. The formula on this is so good. I remember just swatching this and like literally gasping. The shimmers in this are so soft, but not in a bad way. They feel wet, like it almost feels like a cream formula. They are so buttery in the pan, and putting them on your lid is, they're stunning, absolutely stunning. This is also an Australian brand, so I would highly recommend getting this palette if you're into this kind of color scheme. It is an expensive palette. I think it's about $70, but totally worth it, like just for the formula. Amazing. And next we have another Australian brand. This is from Harper Cosmetics. This is their Essentials palette. This is one that I'm also keeping. Again, really good formula on this one. Another colourful type one. Majority neutrals, but you've got your more bright shades down the bottom. This is in the camera, it's coming off like really warm toned, but it's not as warm as it looks in here. But yeah, really pretty. I'm definitely keeping that one. Next is the Tarty Beauty Textured Neutrals Volume 1 palette. If you don't already know, Tarty has announced that she has closed Tarty Beauty, so I'm definitely keeping this one because you can no longer get it. In terms of formula is fantastic. That one is a little bit, it looks really neutral in the pan, but when I put it on my lid, it comes off a little bit more warm. But regardless, it's a really nice palette, lovely formula. Yeah, so I'm definitely keeping that one. Next, we have two Emco Beauty palettes. I can't remember the names of either of these palettes, but they are both limited edition. This one here I'm going to get rid of, mainly because I just feel like I get the same sort of looks, and you can probably see that a lot of these shades look like I've really dipped into them. That one down the bottom there looks like I've almost hit pan on it. I really haven't used them that often. It's just that those particular formulas are so soft, they're like unmanageable. I can't pick them up on a brush. I can barely pick them up on my finger, and I just don't really know how to use them. So this one I'm going to get rid of, and then this one I'm still a bit unsure about. So I think I'm going to keep this one, and it'll just go in the pile of makeup that I need to try a couple more times and then make a decision on it. It's not a bad formula. It's just that all of these shades are very similar in undertone, and I kind of end up all of my looks just end up looking exactly the same every time I use it. So this one is going to go on the maybe pile. I'll test it out. If I don't like it, if I just can't get any more than, the one type of look out of this, then I will declutter it from my collection. And then I've got these two Chichi palettes. So this one is the Super Nudes palette. I have done a video on this one, so I'll link that one up above so you can check it out if you want to. But I'm keeping that one. Really good formula, nice selection of colors. And then the Pastels and Dreams palette. I haven't even swatched this, so I'm going to keep it. Obviously, it's beautiful, and I haven't actually used it. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to keep this one as well. Okay, so we're on to the final pile here, and the first ones I want to talk about are these e.l.f. 18 pan eyeshadow palettes. So I've got 3 of them. I've got the Opposites Attract, the New Classics, and the Earth and Ocean. So the Earth and Ocean I'll talk about first. I'm keeping this one because it's pretty. I really don't use the blue side much at all, but the browns and greens I think are really, really pretty. So I'm going to keep this one. Next is the Opposites Attract palette. This one I think I'm going to get rid of because I really just don't use it. I pretty much don't use this cool side at all. And even the warm side I've stopped using. So I think I will declutter this one. And then the New Classics, I'm keeping that. Absolutely love it. A great everyday palette. So next is the DB Out of This World palette. This one I'm keeping as well. I've said it a million times. DB does a really good eyeshadow formula, and this is no exception. So I'm keeping this one. Next is the Beauty Works eyeshadow palette. This I'm going to get rid of. This one, I like the color story. It seems right up my alley, but you only get 3 matte shades. You've got this like creamy sort of shade, and then you've got these 2 other shades, other matte shades. That's all you have to work with as transition shades. So everything just kind of looks very similar. Yeah, so I'm going to get rid of this one. Next are these 2 Revolution eyeshadow palettes. I think they're from their neutrals range. I can't remember, but this one here is more of like a pinky toned, and it is a nice palette and very affordable. I just find that I've got similar shades in my collection that just work a little bit better. I just like the formula a little bit more. And then this one is really pretty, but I just don't use shades like this that often, and I've had it for a while and I just haven't used it, so I need to be ruthless. Next, I've got the Spectrum Collections Oceana palette. This one I'm definitely keeping. I don't use these 4 shades too much, but these neutrals I definitely do. This one here is a beautiful, just like one shade all over the lid type of shade. It's a dark brown with a green shift, which sounds weird, but it's really pretty on the eye. And of course the other neutrals I absolutely love, so I'm going to keep this one. Also, side note, I'm an affiliate with Spectrum Collections now as well, so if you want to save 15% off their website, I'll leave my affiliate link down below so you can save some money. But moving on to the Maybelline Nudes of New York palette, this one I'm definitely keeping. It's really, really nice, good formula, love the shimmers, so I'm going to keep that one. And then I've got this Perez. I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. But this is the Chamomile eyeshadow palette. This one I'm going to declutter. It's just too subtle for my liking. And I couldn't really get the shimmers to work for me. So that one's being decluttered. And I'm also going to declutter this one, which is the MAC 9 pan palette in burgundy, I think it is, or something burgundy. This one, for whatever reason, I just don't reach for. I don't really know why, but yeah, it just doesn't really excite me, so I'm going to get rid of that one as well. This is the Flower Beauty Petal Play Quad in Berrymore. I'm definitely keeping this one. I've only used this once and it's relatively new, so that's staying. And then we've got the Colourpop Going Coconuts palette. This one I'm definitely keeping as well. This is one of my absolute favorite palettes, so that's definitely staying. And the e.l.f. Bite-Sized Eyeshadow Quad in Rose Water. This one I'm keeping as well. This is a very, everybody raves about these. I don't think they're like as amazing as everybody talks about, but e.l.f. does a good eyeshadow formula, especially the shimmers. They're really, really pretty. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this one. And here we have the Pure Raw Beauty Kristi collaboration. This is a double-sided palette, so you've got your colours on this side and then you've got your neutrals on this side. Your neutrals are all very like yellow based, but they're so pretty on the eye. I'm definitely keeping this one. I don't use the colored side that often, but this side is beautiful. This shade Copper Boxes is like such a beautiful, just that shade all over the eye because of the undertones. It's stunning. Can't get it anymore, of course, because it was a limited edition, but yeah, definitely keeping that one. This palette from Gorgeous Cosmetics, this was a collaboration with Unknown Beauty for one of their Unknown Beauty boxes. Unknown Beauty has unfortunately had to close down, but this was one of the products that I got in one of their boxes. This one, I do like the colors in here, but I don't like the formula as much as I like other formulas. So I can basically get similar shades as this in different palettes where I enjoy the formula more. So I'm going to, instead of just getting rid of the whole thing, you can actually remove the pans out of here because it's a magnetic palette. So what I'm going to do is remove the eyeshadows from here, and I'm going to take a couple of eyeshadows from this big clunky Morphe palette. So this has actually got leftover shades from the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Vault collection. I bought the whole collection and there were a lot of dud shades, and I ended up just decluttering a whole bunch of them and putting them in here. But I think I'm going to whittle down this collection a little bit more because I really don't use any of these, and I think I'll just put 4 of the shades in that little quad in the hopes that I'm going to use them more often. And then the big Morphe palette, I think I'm just going to get rid of that because it's so huge and cumbersome. I didn't think it was going to be as enormous when I ordered it online, and then it obviously was. So yeah, that's going to be my plan. All right, now we're down to the final 3 palettes, and this one is the JCat Secret Paradise palette. This one I'm finally going to get rid of. This is a really old palette, and I did a video on it a while ago where I realized that the formula has changed a little bit, probably just because it's such an old palette, and I still haven't gotten rid of it. So I'm finally going to part ways with this one. And this one is the BYS Sunkiss palette. I'm definitely keeping this one. This is one of the few like colorful palettes that I really love. And I was actually given this by a Secret Santa from work, so definitely keeping this one. And then the last one is the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette. So I'm definitely keeping this one. It's got a lot of cool tones in here. I don't really have much else like this in my collection. And I was actually given this one by a friend. So yeah, definitely keeping this one as well. Alrighty guys, that is everything. If you have watched all 4 of these videos, thank you so much for watching and sticking around. This took a lot longer than I expected. I was honestly thinking this would be one quick video and and that was it, but clearly not. So thank you so much for sticking around. Thanks for hanging out with me today and watching this video. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like button and also subscribe if you would like to. I'd really appreciate that. And other than that, thanks again for hanging out, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!